Hello everyone and welcome back to Dwayne and Nidia Food, Travel and Fun. And today I'm going to do another in our series of internet famous TikTok viral types of recipes. This is what I call a dump it all in one casserole dish recipe. And it's the viral, I think they call it either chicken cobbler or chicken pot pie. But the secret ingredient, which of course is not so secret, is using the Red Lobster. These are their famous Cheddar Bay biscuits, and they do have a home version of the Cheddar Bay mix. So this is what we're going to be using, in addition to a handful of other things you probably have in your kitchen and in your pantry. So this is going to be our dinner tonight, and let's give it a try. I've seen so many videos on this. Everyone has a slightly different spin on it. This might be a different spin as well, because I've made a few substitutions, just because of my taste. Certainly not anything that would, totally take away from the ease, convenience, and just how easy it is to slap this meal together. So first things first, we're going to make the Red Lobster batter. And it comes in a box, and it also comes with a seasoning packet. Now, if you've ever been to Red Lobster, you know their biscuits are absolutely delicious. And they are served at the beginning of each meal, and they are coated with a garlicky, buttery, savory sauce not sauce, but glazed with some butter, and then there's garlic in that butter. And this herb packet is part of that splashing of the butter that you put on the biscuits before you bake them. But I'm not really going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, because we're not making the biscuits as biscuits. So I'm going to add it to the actual biscuit mix. And then the directions for making the mix, and I'll move the casserole dish out here, is to add 3/4 of a cup of water. And I'm checking because I've never made this before. Yep, 3/4 cups of cold water, 1 cup shredded sharp cheddar cheese, and this 1 pouch here. So I'm going to put that 3/4 cup water. I have sharp cheddar cheese here. This is a 2-cup bag or an 8-ounce bag. So I'm going to do, it says about a 1/2 cup, but I'm going to add a little bit more because, again, we're not making individual biscuits. Let me just pull out more. I think I'm going to use about a full cup. There we go. That's actually not quite a full cup. That's about it. Okay. And now I'm going to whisk this up. And if you've ever gone to Red Lobster, and unfortunately I think most of them are closing pretty soon, then you'll definitely be familiar with this. Now, because I'm not familiar, I've never made these biscuits before, let me see if there's anything else. Nope, it says to mix biscuit dough until dough forms. But because I'm going to be pouring this over wow, this is really biscuit-y, which isn't quite what we're going for here. Let me change from using a whisk to actually using a spatula. Here we go. Yeah, this is a little dry. I think what I'm going to do is add some milk. To this, I will add about a cup of milk. 1 minute while I get the milk. All right, so I've returned. I'm now adding 1 cup of milk to the 3/4 cup of water, to the packet of the baking mix, and to that other, this is much better. Yes, this is definitely, it will need more liquid because we're not making the biscuits. We're using this as a topping for our chicken cobbler. There we go. I'm going to try and make this batter as battery and smooth as possible. It's getting there. It is getting there. Yeah, like I said, there have been variations. I've seen some people use just milk for making this batter. I've seen some people use just water. There we go. Very, very good. It will have some lumps because, remember, there is cheese, shredded cheese in here. And now that I'm seeing the volume, it wouldn't hurt to add a little more sharp cheddar. Call me crazy. But who doesn't love sharp cheddar? In fact, I don't think I've met a cheese I didn't like, except for maybe truffled cheese, which I am not a truffled person, so that's probably the only kind of cheese I wouldn't like. Goat cheese isn't my favorite either. That's a little strong. So here we go. Let's get a good look. This is the consistency of the cheddar biscuit batter for the chicken pot pie / chicken cobbler that we're going to be throwing together. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to get my baking dish. This is probably says on the bottom. Let me see. 8 by 13 maybe? Yeah, looks like it's about 8 by 13. It's your average size baking dish. And what we're going to do now is we're going to melt down this stick of butter. One of the secrets for probably why this is going to be so tasty. And I am preheating the oven, by the way. That beeping you're hearing in the background is my oven, which is set to 350. Okay, I'm just going to melt this one stick of butter and be right back. Okay, so here we have one stick of melted butter. I'm going to use about a third of this to put on the bottom. I'm going to save the rest for that topping, the one I was talking about so incoherently before, that usually when you're making biscuits, if you want to make the top sort of extra golden and flavorful, you do spread or you do brush some butter and some garlic and maybe some other herbs on there. Okay, I have my butter-lined casserole dish, and now I have cooked shredded chicken. I suppose if you didn't want to eat chicken, and any chicken will do. This is actually cooked shredded chicken from a rotisserie chicken. You can buy the chicken and just kind of shred it, make it available. You can also buy the rotisserie chicken already shredded. You can cook your own chicken, and certainly you can keep this in the freezer if you have it left over from another meal until you're ready to make this, and just kind of put it all over the bottom. There we go. This is a mix of course, as any chicken would be, a mix of white and dark meat. And I've just put it here like so, lining the casserole dish. Now, next up, you want to add your vegetable layer. And the vegetable layer, in my case, is going to be peas, because I love peas. Although I think the original viral recipe asks you to put some frozen carrots and peas. I prefer peas and corn. So I'm putting about 16 ounces. So you can buy a 16-ounce or 1-pound bag of mixed vegetables. I like it really vegetable-y, so I'm going to add both. So instead of one bag of the peas and carrots together, I'm actually adding about 3/4 of a bag of peas and maybe half of a 16-ounce bag of corn. And you know, you can move it around. As soon as the peas get in anything, they just give you that pop of color, don't they? Really nice. Very good. Now we're going to add the, I guess what it's called, the soup layer. And the soup layer consists of 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm using the store-bought kind. You can use store-bought, homemade chicken stock. You can certainly, if you prefer, use the low-sodium variety. In most cases, I tend to use the regular salt because I find if I use the lower salt, I end up salting it more in the end to make it taste good. That's 2 cups. Here's where I'm going to make a little change. You can use a can of cream of chicken soup and add it here, and then you're going to whisk it together. I didn't have any cream of chicken soup, so I'm using Heinz home-style chicken gravy. And this is looks like it's an 18-ounce, so it's a little bit more than the size of the cream of chicken soup. Yeah, this is hard to open. Now I have the chicken gravy and a whisk. And I'm going to slowly add in the gravy because it is quite thick. It's probably as thick as the cream of, there we go. Yeah, it's definitely as thick as cream of chicken or cream of mushroom when you buy the condensed canned version. So you want to put that in there little at a time and stir it so you don't have any lumps. All right, here I go. Here it comes. Going down, going in. Wow, this actually reminds me of trying to get ketchup out of those old glass ketchup bottles when I was a kid. There it comes. Too lazy to go get a spoon right now, but I'm going to put almost all of this. And here we go. I've definitely already put in a bit of it. I'm whisking it in here so it's nice and smooth. I'm going to add a little bit more. There we go. That's just about the entire jar, more or less. So, tastes very chickeny now. I didn't taste it. Smells very chickeny now. And I'm going to give it a good whisk. Very smooth. Here's where I'm going to deviate a little bit, folks. Most times when I follow a recipe exactly, I try to do it exactly the very, very first time. And when I do, I find it was always lacking something for me. In this case, the recipe didn't ask for any onion, but I can't imagine if I were making a scratch chicken pot pie, not at least chopping an onion. But because I'm trying to keep this down to the TikTok level of ease and convenience, I'm going to use grated minced onion, not grated. It's dried minced onion flakes. I just put in about 2 tablespoons or so. It also didn't call for much seasoning. I am adding a little onion powder. And I'm not measuring because I'm just doing this for the first time. And I kind of know this is garlic. Very few times I make food and don't include garlic. And even fewer when I don't include some cracked black pepper or white pepper. And I'm grating this one. I do love the smell of black pepper, especially when it's being freshly grated. And I'm also going to put in some parsley flakes. These are dried. We dried them ourselves. We just reuse these containers to make it convenient for cooking. But we do grow our own parsley in our garden. Botanical garden? No. Hydroponic garden, which is all Dwayne's doing, not mine. All right. Now I'll get these herbs, spices, and things in this soupy layer. Stirred. And I'll put this here, bring back the chicken with the vegetables, like that. And pour this in. Cover it all. There we go. And I'll kind of spread it around a little bit so everybody gets a little wet. And then the last part, and this is why it's kind of like a dump and go kind of meal, is that cheddar bay mix. And according to the viral recipe, you just pour this all over the top. I'm going to try to evenly pour it so it pretty much covers as much of the surface as possible, including the corners, because I like when my pot pies get all kind of crunchy and golden at the corners. I'm going to get every bit of this residue out. I mean, I hope it comes out good. I like the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I like the idea of having the cheese built into the topping. There, that's pretty well coated right there. And now is that last part. Pouring this mix of it's actually not the mix, it's actually the rest of the melted butter over the top. I think that'll help with browning, and it'll definitely help, I think, make that top layer of crust. And I am going to just crack a little more pepper over the top of that. Didn't add any salt. I'm using gravy that's from a jar. I'm sure that's high sodium and salty. I'm also using chicken broth that is not low sodium. And I know that there is already other stuff going on here that will probably add to the salt level. Folks, you can always add salt and pepper to your plate, right? So this is ready for the oven. I'm going to open that oven door and then place this in the oven that is preheated to 350. And I'm going to leave it in there on the middle shelf for about an hour or until the top is crusty and golden brown. So my cobbler slash casserole slash pot pie is now in the oven. I have set my oven alarm for 60 minutes and it's time to clean up and then meet you back once I have the final product to show you. I hope this comes out good, folks. I've never done it before. And if it does come out good, I want you to try and make it and let me know what you thought. Okay, so welcome back. And through the magic of editing, my chicken pot pie slash chicken cobbler using the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix is done. Let me go get it out of the oven and I'm going to show it to you. And then I'm going to take myself a spoonful of it and see how it is. So here it is. This is the viral chicken pot pie slash chicken cobbler. Viral TikTok, viral Instagram, viral Facebook. This is the actual recipe. So it's still pretty hot, but let me show you what it looks like. I'm just going to take a little spoon and just so you know, the top makes like a solid crunch sound. So it really does crisp up and it does get that texture of a cheddar biscuit on top, much like the texture of the top of a chicken pot pie. It's a little hot, so it's going to be a little extra runny. Maybe I should just let it set for a bit. Yeah, let's let it set for a bit. And this is actually a good time to thank you all for watching Dwayne and Nidia Food, Travel, and Fun. We just recently crossed 16,000 subscribers, which I can't even believe has happened. And we have so much fun doing this. Yes, we both still work, and this is just I'll call it a side hustle, but we just love sharing it. And one thing we've realized is we're sort of not just creating content for our viewers, but we're actually creating a legacy of our lives together. And it's very much a way for us to, I don't know, reminisce and kind of just go back and relook at some of the videos, some of the experiences, some of the trips, some of the meals. And it's just been the most amazing experience. And I just am so grateful that you're here to share it with us. So thank you so much. Also, if you are new and you have never watched one of our videos before, this is your opportunity to subscribe to our channel. It's free. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button right underneath the video there. And also, if you could, and you're watching this video, it really helps when you hit that like button. It really helps push out this video to other viewers so other people can discover what we do. As you know, this isn't a professional editing and channel media company that does this. It's just my husband and I putting together videos in a way where we're just sharing what we'd probably be doing anyway, but having a lot of fun doing it. And the support and the feedback we've gotten from all of you has been amazing, especially those of you in the cruising and in the Portuguese American community here in Southeastern Massachusetts. So big thank you to all of you. All right, enough said. I'm going to just take one little spoonful of this because it's not really dinner time and it's still not quite set. So it's just oh, that smells really good. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Very steamy. You can see the steam. It looks like the inside of a chicken pot pie. So when you think Marie Callender's, when you think Banquet, when you think Wright's Dairy Farms, or when you think homemade, and we make this a lot with turkey, especially turkey pot pie after Thanksgiving. I'm going to let this set a bit. It's very watery and runny right now. It smells really good. I'm going to get a fork, and I'm going to try this. Even if it's hot, I'll just blow on it. I'm going to taste the crust with some veggies and some of that sauce first. I'm going to blow on it, though, or I'll be sorry. Just another little piece of the crust. When I make pot pie, I'm a little bit lazy sometimes. I don't usually make a crust. I usually make it more like a shepherd's pie with mashed potatoes and use that. So I'm going to really try this biscuit piece. That top layer is pretty amazing. I can taste the cheese. It does taste like a very saturated and moist dumpling underneath that browned crust. Almost dumpling-like, because it's not dry once you get beyond that top crust. And the chicken is just rotisserie chicken, but it's been cooking up in that mix of gravy and broth. I'm glad I added black pepper and onion. I think it would have been a little less savory had I not added some of the herbs and spices. So there you have it. I'm hoping that this sets a bit because the liquid level is still pretty high, but it's still pretty hot. I like my inside filling of a pot pie to be a little thicker, but hey, you know, I did the best I could with the new recipe, and you can always leave liquid behind and serve yourself up the goodies and just use less liquid on your plate. This is good. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you in our next adventure.